Hello and welcome to Euphoria. Today I'm going to make this set, which is Lego set 40725, and it's called Cherry Blossoms, and it makes two branches or twigs of cherry blossom with two different shades of blossom on the branches. I think we'll find that these two branches are quite tall, so I'm wondering if these could be converted into Lego trees. I've seen other people do something like this. I'm also wondering if I could reconfigure the pieces in this set into a different shape and maybe make more minifig shaped trees that could go into my Lego city. First, I'm going to build this set according to the instructions. Then I'll be familiar with the parts and the build technique. Then we can start to play. Let's see if I can make some Lego trees from Lego twigs. So let's break open this box and make a start on looking at the pieces and the build itself. So I'm expecting to have a lot of quite small pieces with this set. You get quite a few bags of the different petal type pieces. A lot of brown pieces for the stalks or twigs, more petals in sort of lime green, and then some 1x1 plates or flower pieces, I think they are, in pink and white. Some pieces in dark red and black. More pieces in pink, and a set of instructions. So it looks like bags 1 and 2 make the first twig or branch or stalk, whatever you want to call it, and then bags 3 and 4 make the flowers and petals for this first twig. So we've still got plastic bags with this set. Number 1, number 2. So I'm not going to null the parts from this set, as they're all small and rather fiddly elements, and also being round shapes it would be difficult to place them nicely on the table, so I'll just use these containers to put the different types of parts into. So the basic mechanism for these twigs is going to be these Technic pieces in reddish brown, and they'll be connected together with short axle pieces which are in black at the moment, and they just push into the end of the connectors and allow them to be joined together like that. Then there's a Technic connector with a stud on the end that allows a round plate to be added onto the stalk, at the bottom anyway, like this, which then allows these gripper pieces to be pushed in horizontally. So you do a similar thing a couple of times, and then there's a cross piece that's attached with another angle but sticking out the other way. So the lower side branches are made using this combination of a clip and some bars and a snot brick with studs on 4 sides, which gives you quite a lot of angles going on, and those are going to clip onto the side of the main stalk or twig. There are smaller side branches made of a different combination of bars and a plate. So as these all go on, it starts to gain a slightly organic and three-dimensional feel to it. Then the twig is extended downwards using a combination of a lot of Technic connectors and short axles, which make for quite a long assembly when it's all put together. Now we start on bags 3 and 4, and I have a feeling this is going to be quite repetitive as well. So this does get repetitive and rather fiddly, but to be fair, if you want the effect of a full set of blossoms on a twig, you do kind of need quite a lot of them. And finally, there are these little assemblies of tiny pieces that go to make the rather cute looking buds that go right on the end of the branch. There's quite a lot of flexibility about how the blossoms are arranged on the branch, and in that way, overall, you get quite an organic feel, especially when viewed from a distance. These branches are quite tall, and obviously they don't want to stand up on their own, so you do need a vase or some sort of container to be able to display them properly. The second branch is built in exactly the same way, using bags 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Although the colours of the flowers are different on this second one, being a light pink outer petal and a darker pink inside. It does get a bit repetitious and slightly tedious, building all the flower petals, little leaves and the tiny inserts, but I did find a rather neat and slightly easier way of assembling the flowers, by using one of the outer petals to place the insert into one of the other petals. So the end result is 2 similar and rather nice looking twigs of cherry blossoms. To my eye, the one with the pink blossoms looks a bit fuller than the one with the white blossoms, but I think that's just because it's more colourful. It's fairly easy to adjust the construction just by pulling these parts off, and you can change the position of them relative to each other on the tree. These Technic pieces just slot together in whatever configuration you want, and what I'd like to do is to get the kind of larger branches towards the bottom of the trunk and the smaller branches towards the top. I'm also adding some more leaves to these branches, including some darker green leaves and some kind of medium or normal green leaves, as well as the very light green leaves that come with the actual set. And what I'm going to try and do is put the kind of darker leaves perhaps down towards the bottom, and then grade them up with a mixture of leaves up towards the sort of younger and lighter green leaves at the top. I was lucky to find some of these leaf pieces on the pab wall at one of the Lego stores I went to at some point. So that means it's relatively easy just to change these leaves out or add a few more where they're needed. I'm taking off the brown plant piece that formed the bud part of the twig, and I'm going to put that right at the top of the tree. Add a few leaves, and that gives me a kind of smaller top part of the tree. Of course, it's easy to make slight variations. So on this one I've added an extra snot brick on the top, which gives a few more leaves and or buds at the top of the tree. At the bottom of the trunk I'm going to replace one of these Technic connectors with one of these round Technic connectors, and that will let me attach the bottom of the trunk of the tree into a tile with a Technic pin on it, and that should let me place the tree fairly securely on the base plate of my Lego City. So that's made two of these smaller trees from the one long twig, and actually I've still got some pieces left over, but I think that's a good size to go with, so I'll now do the same for the other twig. So now I've done these other two, we've got 4 trees from the 2 twigs we started with. They do vary a bit in appearance, but I think with the addition of more extra green leaves they look a little more like trees than twigs. They were a bit fiddly, but by changing some of the angles and tweaking the construction, we've got 4 different trees that do vary slightly in appearance, and they don't look completely uniform. So I'm going to try these out in my Lego City to see how they look there. So I'm putting these trees with blossoms in a row down this side of the main plaza, and they're more or less lined up with the trees that are in a row on the other side of the main square. I'm quite pleased with the height of these trees, as they're in scale with the buildings and the other young trees that I already have in my Lego City. They certainly add a pop of colour and a feeling of perpetual spring to the city. Do you like these trees? And do you think this is the right place for them? Maybe I should get another set and replace these other 4 trees that I already have on the main plaza. What do you think? This set was only £10, which is pretty good value for all the parts that make up these 4 trees. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed seeing how these were made. Don't forget to hit that like button if you did, and please subscribe to the channel to see more about my Lego designs, builds, my mocks and updates on my Lego City.